What a day to be a Tesla stock investor, as Tesla is currently down about 1.7% following some claims of fraud. Yeah, it seems like they're really stretching with this one. So here is the hit piece yet again being reported by, you guessed it, Reuters. Tesla stock was falling in early trading over 3% after Reuters reported that US prosecutors were investigating Tesla to see if statements by the company and CEO Elon Musk about the company's driver assistance technology qualify as fraud. The investigation boils down to whether Tesla's claims about its driver assistance fraudulently misled customers. Tesla's driver assistance systems, called autopilot and full self-driving, require driver supervision 100% of the time. Tesla's documentation and in-vehicle warnings remind drivers they need to pay attention. The Justice Department, however, is examining statements made by Musk and the company implying the cars can truly drive themselves, creating unreasonable expectations for drivers, according to the report. Golly, if this is not just an outright attack on Tesla, I don't know what else is. Whether it's outright visual warnings or reminded warnings from the Tesla team, or needing to put pressure on the steering wheel to use FSD, I don't know what else there has to be for the government, consumers, whoever it may be that is attacking Tesla, to get it through their minds that there is ample warning that this is not a hands-free go-to-sleep like technology. The question is this going to go anywhere? Meaning, is Tesla going to face legal or monetary repercussions because of any of this lawsuit, or what could become a lawsuit? And although I don't know definitively, there is plenty of warning that this technology is not perfect, that you need to pay attention to the vehicle. I mean, it's called full self-driving supervised. It's literally in the name. And I find it funny that just as full self-driving is taking that next leap and actually getting better than it's ever been before, now you have everyone basically trying to shut it down. It almost makes you wonder if some of the shorts could be behind some of what we're seeing, especially some of those Reuters pieces that continue to come out. After all, the short position in Tesla is at multi-year highs, right at a moment in time in which I would not want to be short in Tesla. It's very risky to be short in Tesla right now. And, well, there's $19 billion currently sold short at these low prices. If Tesla stock does start to rally further from here, shorts are going to be taking on billions and billions and billions of dollars in losses. Just to put this into a little bit of perspective, for $1 billion, you could purchase over 26,000 Model 3s. That's a lot of money to start losing. It just makes you wonder why all of the sudden there is all of this backlash against Tesla, specifically full self-driving. In my personal opinion, this is probably not a direct campaign against full self-driving. It probably has a lot to do with the stock and the financial interests that are at play here. I do think a neutral party with no financial incentive here would side for Tesla, so I'm really not concerned about this affecting full self-driving, but it's definitely affecting Tesla stock today. And it's almost like this quote-unquote bad news today is trying to cover up or hide, kind of push under the radar, some really good news that we also got today. That news is that China may support Tesla's local testing of robotaxi. I don't know, maybe I'm reaching here, but it all sounds very suspicious. And I would argue there's probably something bigger at play here, something with a financial interest. Because clearly FSD saves lives, doesn't cause further casualties or incidents as people are driving. That's just outrageous. The data doesn't suggest that at all. But hey, what do I know? Let me know what you think about this situation down below in the comment section. But in regards to this good news that came out today about robotaxis in China, That would be really good for Tesla. In other news, you do have Reuters that is changing their headline from suggesting Tesla's German factory was shut down for 4 days, now confirming that Tesla's German factory is only shut down for 1 day on May 10th. This is one of the reasons why Tesla's stock sold off yesterday, so I mean, it's not really doing anything today to help Tesla. Tesla's X account wrote this post 17 hours ago that says driving with FSD supervised can help reduce fatigue since you won't have to frequently make micro adjustments as compared to driving without it. Elon Musk shared this post and says the latest version of Tesla's supervised self-driving will blow your mind. In parentheses, supervised. I don't know how much clearer you can get. And let me know what you guys think about this Cybertruck wrap. It's a rust wrap. And to be honest, I think I like this more than I should. It's very apocalyptic. Even though I'm terrified about funguses that could cause a theoretical zombie apocalypse, I still think it's cool. Rivian announced today they plan to produce 155,000 units of the R2 per year. This article says Mercedes retreats to gas guzzlers as its EVs fail to boost profits. After planning to become fully electric by the end of the decade, Mercedes will continue to make combustion engines and hybrid vehicles well into the 2030s. Elon Musk responds to Bill Lee here on X and says probably next week we will get the rollout of 12.4. And that is FSD, of course. Just 24 hours into Mr. Beast's Tesla giveaway, his Instagram post already has over 5.7 million comments and 9.3 million likes. This makes it the 5th most commented post on Instagram in history. Elon Musk confirms that 12.4 has almost completely retrained models. The final touches are for comfort, as it sometimes accelerates or brakes too fast for most people's taste. 12.5 and 12.6 are in various stages of testing. We're getting into rare, complex situations. For an example, going down a narrow one-way road, encountering a road closure and having to reverse out to find a new route. That closure also needs to be communicated to the rest of the fleet, so you don't get a whole bunch of Teslas stuck down a road. So you're getting down to the training of these edge case scenarios. It's going to take a while until this training is done, but this is really the last big step. Which, that's truly some bombshell news by Elon Musk. I don't think we really had an idea of what 0.5, 0.6, the training was actually at least about right now. We know that Tesla's working on later iterations of FSD, but now we know it's really those rare edge case scenarios. It's going to take some while again to get all of that worked out, but when it does, you're pretty much done with FSD training. Now, there's always going to be some kind of training that happens, but enough training to actually get a robotaxi network online could be here within 6, 8, 9 months or so, based on at least what Elon is saying here. And obviously, that's just me speculating a little bit. It could take a long time to work out these edge case scenarios, but if the improvement is anything like what we've seen recently, focusing on specifically those edge case scenarios with all of the training compute that Tesla now has, it shouldn't be too difficult to get it down, if you will. Maybe that's why everyone seems to be against Tesla's FSD now. It's getting to the point where it's almost completed. Now it's an actual problem for competition, for the shorts, for people betting against Tesla in one way, shape, form, or another. It all makes a little bit more sense now. Roland Percher reports that Tesla's year-to-date sales in Europe are down about 7.5% year over year after April. Please note that we have data for 14 major markets and 8 smaller countries. For 3 countries, Roland Percher had to make an estimate as the data is not in yet. Even here you can see in Tesla's option activity, some of the top traded contracts. Take a look at this. Our 320 calls expiring January 17th, 2025. You have 15,000 for open interest at this specific strike with 1.63 million paid in premiums. Joe Ted Meyer posts these images to his X account and says, the Model Y production seems to be consistently lower than usual, but not stopped, while the Cybertruck production seems quite robust. Strategic decision on what to produce, or is there a production line upgrade underway? And here you can see the images. Again, lots of Cybertrucks there, tons of Cybertrucks in the outbound lots. Not a lot of Model Ys at Texas. Maybe there is some upgrades coming, and maybe those upgrades have something to do with the new lower priced models that hopefully will be coming by the end of this year. This Chinese news article says Elon Musk's visit impact. Tesla's FSD entry process into China could create a, quote, catfish effect and deepen technology competition in self-driving in China and spur the commercialization of self-driving. Worth mentioning, today in after hours, you are going to get earnings from ARM. Now, ARM and NVIDIA do a lot of business together, and NVIDIA is still, I would call, the glue holding the markets together. The AI trade has a lot of excess fluff baked into our markets, and if ARM gives you, let's say, bad earnings, that's a direct implication to NVIDIA earnings. So that could be bad news. But really, let's be honest, it's all about the guidance these days. So whether or not the earnings do well or miss really doesn't matter too much. It's all about what next quarter is going to look like, or next year. So this will be a big catalyst for today and after hours that will affect NVIDIA and the broad markets. Here on the day today in Tesla option activity from Big Money, you have seen 149 different trades totaling $27.3 million with a positive order value of 44%. Short interest of free flow is sitting still at multi-year highs at 3.85%, with about $19 billion currently in short positions and 106.62 million shares that are currently sold short. Over on StockTwits, sentiment from mainly retail investors is pretty bearish today at 39. Yesterday, it was bullish at 55. Message volume today is a little bit higher than yesterday at 48, which is considered normal, and the participation ratio today is at high at 55. Google Trends data for full self-driving is sitting at 26, so not really changed from yesterday's number. And if you stay in the 20s, in the 30s, 40s, doesn't matter, that's better than where you were pre-free trial, when you were anywhere from 6 on the low side to 18, 19 on the high side. That would be an indication of more interest into full self-driving following the ending of this free trial. Google Trends data for the Cybertruck is falling 1 point from 58 to 57. Search trend activity for the Model Y dropping from 27 to 26, the Model 3 from 24 to 23, the Model S from 12 down to 11, and the Model X is staying right at about 9. Now, I will tell you, this is very abnormal to see this strong of search trend activity this time of the year. Typically, you don't see anything like this normally at all for Tesla, but when you do see a spike in search trend activity, it does tend to be Q3, Q4. That's a pretty good sign that Q2 could be a good quarter, maybe even into Q3 if we are seeing some slow production of the Model Y in Texas and maybe some slow production of the Model 3 still in Fremont. 51.1% of stocks are currently above their 50-day moving average. About 1% of stocks today are falling under that 50-day moving average. You do have global inventory numbers that are ticking up for the Model Y, sitting at about 7,200. The Model 3 at about 2,600, unchanged really. Model X at about 2,500, pretty much unchanged as well. The Model S down here at about 1,300. The Atlanta Fed GDP Now tracker is estimating 4.2% GDP for this current quarter. That is up from the latest estimate of around 3.2% GDP. 10-year Treasury yields today are up about 2 basis points, putting some pressure on equities also. Tesla on a technical basis fell under its 50-day moving average today, and then you bounced back up. At one point in pre-market, Tesla stock was down over 3%. Now you're back above that 50-day moving average. That's great. I indicated in some of the last videos, if we were to fall, you're probably going to find support at this 50-day moving average. That happened today, but depending on ARM earnings today and after hours, I think you can get a large move in the broader markets. Just to kind of put this into context, NVIDIA earnings coming not next week, but the following week, is priced like a CPI report for markets. Meaning you're pricing in about a 1% move for the NASDAQ and the S&P following NVIDIA earnings, something similar to what the markets would price in on major economic data. So ARM earnings is really the best insight we have into NVIDIA earnings, and depending on what ARM says or what the numbers are, that's going to directly affect NVIDIA. Thus, it will directly affect Tesla and the rest of the market. Tesla's RSI is currently sitting neutral at 51.3. The MACD line is positive 2.6. The signal line is positive 0.61. But we will go over a more in-depth look at Tesla's technicals in the next video, so stay tuned to the channel for that one. In the meantime, that is going to go ahead and conclude this video. If you guys would like to come trade with us live in real time, every time I make trades, I send out alerts in the trading community. Check it out, link down below in the description of this video. If it's not your cup of tea, you can always cancel and, well, go on with whatever else you guys do each and every single day. But we would love to have you, so check it out, link down below in the description of this video. Nonetheless, guys, if you did not know already, my name is Michael Tyler. If you also did not know, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're listening to my voice and you made it to the end of this video and you have not done so already. Nonetheless, most importantly, forget all that. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.